Oi, 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 a level 50 Rotting Mage and 2 copies of War Maiden, one at level 60 and one at level 50. What is up, guys? This is Cobb. We got our work cut out for us today, man. We got a lot of stuff to fix on Mr. Retro Boy's account. He's currently sitting at level 50, and yeah, he needs our help, man. He needs our help. Okay, so we've got some champion builds that need looking at. We've got some champion rank up priorities that really need to be looked at and sort of reassign some mistakes that you should be avoiding on your own account. We've got a lot of execution here built out. You know, he's a defense-based champion with attack percentage boots, with horrible substats as well. So there's a lot to say about items and gearing up on this account as well. And we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to get to, man. So it's going to be... well, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be an intense one. I've got my coffee ready. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Anyway, man, don't forget, if you're looking to get involved in this account takeover series yourself and you want me to review your account in one of these videos, the best way to do that and to sort of skip the queue a wee bit is to sign up to Raid using my beginner promo link down below at the top of the video description box, man. Set up a second Raid account, maybe a new free-to-play adventure or something like that. Using that promo link, you'll start up with 4 epic champions and get a priority pass for getting involved in this account takeover series. Also, down below in the description box, you can find a link to join our Discord server here at GameLeap, where you will find the Account Takeovers Submissions channel, where you can submit your account, you know, with a screenshot of your champion roster and stuff to get involved in the Takeover series, man. So let's go ahead and get to this. So the very first thing I want to point out on this account is, this is a big mistake that newer players tend to make, to be fair. I think that I almost started doing this before I received this tip myself in the early game of my own main account, and that is there are just a lot of level 50 champions on this account, right? We've only got a few champions maxed out at level 60. One of them is a little bit questionable. Normally I'd say just leave War Maiden at level 50, but okay. So we've got a few champions at level 60, and then we've got like, what? Is it like 15 or something? Or like 13 or 14 champions ranked up to 5 stars. This is generally something you want to avoid, man. Especially your damage dealers. If you're going to build out a damage dealer, you want to be taking them all the way up to 60 as quickly as possible. You know, like a good nuker style champion. Even something like a Skrank. He's not like a big out and out nuker. He's like an AoE HP burner and stuff. Great champion. If you're going to rank him up, take him to 60. One level 60 Skrank is going to do the damage of like 7 level 50 Skranks, okay? Going up to level 60 is such a big deal, particularly for your damage dealers in the early game. Okay, before I begin rebuilding almost every single champion on this account, real quick, our priorities really should be, you know, in the first few months of Raid, it's really just pushing to as high a difficulty stage on Demon Lord Clan Boss as you can. Looks like this is us right here. We're pushing a wee bit into hard Demon Lord. Doesn't look like we're really touching Brutal a whole lot yet. And this is the team that we are running into Demon Lord. Okay, so an issue I can see with this team immediately without even having to check like the speeds of the gear on these champions is that we're running 2 increase speed champions. So the Haikatoon and the Claude are doing exactly the same job on this team, except Claude does it better because he also brings some healing, whereas Haikatoon brings a bit more like 10 meter control, which is useless against Clan Boss, right? So we can actually just straight up get rid of the Haikatoon from this team immediately, and the team becomes better. I also can't help but notice that, look who's right beside, to the left, just above my head right now, to the left of Haikatoon. Dude, we've got a Calvalax on this account. He's level 50. This is a crazy poison damage dealer, especially when combined. I mean, do we have it? Oh, we don't actually have a kill. We don't really have any good poison damage dealers then besides the Calvalax. Ooh, I can see why we're struggling a little bit at the Clan Boss, but Calvalax is amazing. As soon as the battle starts, he places 4 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns, and then every single turn has a 50% chance of placing another poison debuff on all enemies for 1 turn as well. So great stuff. His A2 places an extra hit for each poison debuff on the target, up to 3 extra hits, so you can have like a quadruple hitter on his A2. Great stuff. And the best thing about Calvalax is that he doesn't actually need skill bucks to be effective. He's a fantastically early game friendly legendary, really kind of unique in that sense, right? Oh my god, he also brings an ally speed aura. I didn't even know about that either, but this guy can also be our speed aura lead into Demon Lord as well, and he has a chance to increase the duration of all poison debuffs on hit on his A1 also. So Calvalax plus any other poison damage dealer on this team would be fantastically powerful into Demon Lord Clan Boss and really help us out a hell of a lot. So remember, against Demon Lord Clan Boss, man, the debuffs you want to be bringing are poisons and HP burns. Great damage with both of those types of debuff. You want to be bringing decrease attack, very, very good. And then to improve your damage a bit, you can bring weaken and decrease defense. Those two, a little bit more optional, to be honest. But the first three certainly are very, very powerful indeed. And so let's just see if I could just rebuild this Demon Lord Clan Boss team and just see what we could come up with if we could like build a team in like the team setup thingamadoodle. So Calvalax and Claude definitely happening. Claude is really, really good at a Demon Lord. I love that we take him up to level 50 as well. He actually doesn't need to go up to level 60 anytime soon. He can stay at 50 for a while. We got a lot of other champions that we should be getting to on this account, so Claude can stay there. Okay, so big issue with champions that we've ranked up on this account is I'm actually noticing this big block of rare champions that we've got here. Like, most of these are trash. There's a case to be made for Life Taker, I think she's called. She can be a good budget option to take up to level 50 to help you out in Fire Knight. She can be pretty good for that. Grave Chill is only good if she's paired with a poison sensitivity debuffer, and we don't have a Frozen Banshee on this account, so she's kind of useless. I sort of feel like any champion that we pull the soul for, we've just taken them up to level 40 and just put the soul on them, even though like this is food, fusion champion, so we'll eventually probably be getting rid of this. Even if we don't, probably food. This is food, she's food, you know? Like, a lot of these champs are just not worth taking up. Certainly any further than this. We could use them as like a 5-star chicken if we were to rank them up to 5 stars. That's something that that's a use we could actually get out of these champs. But as for the Clan Boss team, don't make me pick Yaga. It can't be Yaga, dude. It just can't be. No way. I'm not doing it. I refuse. But we really need a second poisoner on this team, man. I was really hoping to just discover a Frozen Banshee down here, but looks like we don't have one. Oh, hang on. But we do have a Taragi. Okay, Taragi would be excellent here, man. Taragi's going to bolster the survivability of the team by a lot. He brings decrease attack debuff on his AO1. Fantastic. Exactly what we need for Demon Lord Clan Boss. And whenever he gets attacked, he has a chance of reflecting like a poison debuff onto the Clan Boss as well. So Taragi is actually fantastic when paired up with the Calvalax. Okay, now we talking, man. Now we cooking, boys. Since the Loki is also level 60 as well, his AO1 can increase debuff duration against the boss and just help keep those poisons active for as long as possible, because we're going to be leaning on those so heavily for the damage. And even though Scrank's an HP burner, fair enough, he doesn't have a way to like activate HP burns against the Clan Boss, and we were already very poison heavy with this team, so I don't think the Skrank would be the best fit. We're really looking for a healer here, to be honest, just to give us a little bit more stability. So to be honest, I'm very tempted to go ahead and slot in the Rector Drath here. She'd bring like a very good amount of healing, and because Taragi's A1 decrease attack debuff isn't super reliable, at least then the Rector Drath could come in with her A1, and she also has a decrease attack at like a 50% land rate. So she brings the heals, she brings some perfect veil buffs, makes us take less damage from AoE attacks. This is the team that I would build out for use into Demon Lord. This should easily get us up to brutal difficulty, man. Once these champs are like all built out and good to go, you know? Now I will just go into the team AI setup tool here real quick and just disable the Loki's A2, because frankly it just does very little against the Demon Lord, and really we kind of just want to be using his A1 as much as possible, outside of course placing increased attack and filling turn meter. The Loki can actually do a pretty good job in this team, I feel. I think this would be a great Clan Boss team, and so I guess I'll just go ahead and leave that there, man. I've just named a Demon Lord team. We could look to build these champions out in future, Mr. Retro Boy. So I'll leave that there for now, man. Alright, next up, before we actually get into the rebuilds, I do notice that we stuck on a lot of like stage 10s, stage 12s of a lot of the dungeons. One of the dungeons in particular that we're struggling with is stage 13 of Fire Knight's Castle for this challenge right here that we are stuck on, and Retro Boy did ask that I take a look at the Fire Knight team and just sort of see what we can build out to progress in Fire Knight. I've definitely got some ideas based on the champion roster we see, but what I will say actually is a few days before this video goes live up on the YouTube, there will be a guide going up where I cover tips and tools that you should bring to every single dungeon, and honestly all of the normal Doom Tower bosses as well. It's quite a long account takeover video that I did for someone who was struggling just with progression in general, and so I just offered all kinds of tips for all of the dungeons, all of the bosses, to just get you started, man, to hit those all important like stage 16s and start pushing towards stage 20 for the very first time in your dungeons. But yeah, let's take a look at Fire Knight, and you can go ahead and take a peek back at that other video uploaded a few days ago if you want some additional tips on top of this one. So Fire Knight, we need multi-hitters. We need 10-meter controllers, and then of course we need 1 or 2 champions just to get us through the waves and get us to the boss. Okay, so what are we rocking with here, man? Okay. I mean, I don't mind the Claude here, but once again, it's the Haikatune and the Claude kind of doubling up. I think what I'd actually do here, just right off of the get-go, is go ahead with the Haikatune to be the speed aura lead. So that, I mean, you need to be as fast as possible against the Fire Knight boss anyway, so that you constantly stay ahead of his 10-meter and you can control his 10-meter. And then we can actually just go ahead and drop the Claude from this team right away. So just on the face of it, that's a couple of changes that we can make. Now, another legendary option that we have right here that we're not currently exploiting on this account is going to be the Holstring. We can go ahead and slot him into one of the spots. Don't trust this guy's in-game reviews. They make him look like a total piece of crap because you know what? He's almost a total piece of crap, but he was buffed up kind of recently and he is a bit of a specialist into the Dark Fae boss. He's decent enough into Hydra to make it work because he gives himself a Perfect Veil and he can spread the Hex debuff and stuff and spread decreased speed. That's all great, but he's also quite the specialist as well into normal mode. Fire Knight, okay, he can actually do a job in here because he has so many multi-hitters, attacks one enemy 2 times, triple hitter A2, quadruple hitter A3, which also brings, of course, decreased speed, which is fantastic to have against the Fire Knight boss himself. And then on his passive, if this champion attacks a target under Hex and decreased speed debuff, he gets a Perfect Veil buff. Why is that important? Well, he places Hex and decreased speed himself on his A3. Grit, so then he gets the Perfect Veil. Why is the Perfect Veil go? Oh, he also just gets Perfect Veil anyway from the A3, which I totally forgot about. And when he's under a Perfect Veil buff, each of his hits on his double hitter A1 is going to decrease the target's 10-meter by 15%. Crucially important, of course, into Fire Knight. And honestly, dare I say that he can do a very, very good job into Fire Knight without legendary skill tomes as well. Like, he just needs to get this A3 off one time against the boss, and every hit has a chance of placing the Hex and the decreased speed. So it's 75% land rate. He's landing those debuffs, you know, unless you're astronomically, infinitesimally unlucky, he's landing those bloody debuffs, right? And then it's just a matter of spamming the A1, which the chance to land the 10-meter decrease does not increase with ranking up this skill. So again, he just doesn't need the legendary skill tomes. He can do a damn good job for us into Fire Knight as one of our 10-meter controllers. Next up, I'd suggest that we probably drop the Loki here. I feel like he has the least to do on a team like this. We can keep the War Maiden and the Gallic, maybe. We might have to drop the Gallic for another 10-meter controller, to be honest, but we do have the option now between taking up to level 50 a couple of champions to help. Do we have any better epic options that have just gone untouched? I don't think so. I don't see any Cold Hearts anywhere or Armages or anything like that. I think our choice is going to be between Panthera and Life Taker. Now, Panthera she's hypothetically a decent champ into Fire Knight, hypothetically, because she brings reflect damage on herself. Fine, it reflects a little bit of damage to help break through the shield stacks, but ideally you don't need to do that, right, to break the shield stacks. She also brings a triple hitter A1 with each crit, having a chance of decreasing the target's 10-meter by only 3%. Not that efficient. She needs to be built so fast and have 100% crit and have good enough accuracy to be landing the debuffs, which is 10 accuracy per stage of dungeon that you're clearing. So if you're trying to clear stage 13 of Fire Knight for the first time on this account, that's 130 accuracy. She's very, very stat hungry. She's very, very book hungry. She's an avid reader, and we really don't want to be spending all those skill tomes into a champ that we're not even going to be maxing out to 50. I think I'd recommend we actually probably just take the life taker up, I think, to level 50, maybe. She's got a double hitter A1. She's got a triple hitter on the A2. Oh, she's actually fully booked up as well. Yeah, we've actually fully booked up her A2. Okay, lovely. That's actually great. So yeah, we should take the Life Taker up to level 50, man. She's going to be one of our budget options to help us progress into Fire Knight, right? She's got a triple hitter. Each hit has a fully booked. It's actually a 75% chance of decreasing the target's 10-meter by 10%. And the third hit will have a chance of, placing decreased speed debuff as well, which we've already got handled with Holstring, but it's fine. We just need more multi-hitters and 10-meter controllers. And so, yeah, I would rank the Life Taker up to level 50 as soon as possible. Holstring can probably go up to level 60. In time. I think we can make it to level 13 though with Holstring at level 50. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. So another area that I can spy that might just be lacking on this account a wee bit is a good AoE wave controller. We've got like an AoE provoke in the form of Nari the Lucky, but even fully booked up, it's only a 4-turn cooldown AoE provoke, which just, I don't know, man, it's just not the hottest, not the most efficient to take this guy up. I am going to go ahead and eye up good old Husker Roll. This is a champ that I covered in recent takeovers actually, but big AoE, 75% land rate stun skill on his A2, just fantastic. Very, very good indeed. Requires very, very few skill bucks comparative to a lot of legendaries in the game, to be honest. This is just a great champ to take up to maybe level 50, maybe even all the way up to 60 one day, right? Yeah. Very, very good wave controller that I would deeply consider running into Fire Knight as we progress here, man. So I think that's the team I would run. I think the Gallic just has to be in there to just try and kill off the waves. He has at least a little bit of AoE for us. He does also have like a quadruple hitter as well on his A3 that could help to break the boss's shield towards the end of the run and just get our 10-meter controllers in there and doing their job. Honestly, this account could really, really benefit from potentially just... no, I'm not going to say it, but I'm not going to say go back and rank up an Armagen now. I think that the Life Taker can do the job for the most part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lock this team in as a potential Fire Knight team, and then we're going to get to rebuilding some champs, man. Okay, man, so 2 fundamental tips when it comes to building out your champions and just knowing which artifacts are good and which ones are worth ranking up is, well, first of all, on your gauntlets, on your chest, and on your boots, you're looking for very, very specific primary stats. The primary stats are very, very variable on these pieces. Usually, you're looking for speed stat to be the main stat on your boots. You can go for a percentage-based stat, like defense percentage, as long as there's generally a speed stat in like the substat rolls. You don't want your champions to be any slower than like 170 speed if you can avoid it. That's going to be tough to do in the first like month or so of your account, of course, but beyond that, that's kind of like a minimum that you should be shooting for. So speed stat most of the time, like 99% of the time on your boots. On your chest, you want a percentage stat as the main stat that matches your champion type, right? In this case, Loki is, well, it just says that he's a support champion. It doesn't actually tell us right here, but if we go into Loki's skills, click on one of his skills, it says damage based on attack, which tells you what you need to stack on your Loki the Deceiver in this stage in order to bolster up his attack damage. So we do have attack on the chest, but it's a flat stat, right? Generally speaking, flat stat items, even if they've got excellent substats on the gear, like speed rolls and crit rate rolls or whatever you're looking for, and like a damage dealer, you know, they should generally never be taken above rank 12. Just leave them at rank 12. It's fine. In the first couple of months of your account, it's fine and forgivable to kind of roll one of those pieces up a little bit just to get some of the good substat rolls and get some good upgrades there. But the flat stat itself is not doing that much for you, right? Same story on the gloves. We've got some flat attack gloves here. Not super ideal. The substats are fine. I don't mind just rolling this up to like a rank 12. It doesn't need to go any higher. We should leave it here as it is. As for the attack stat on the gauntlets though, gauntlets are a little bit different to both chest and boots. Generally on your nukers and damage dealers, you're looking for either crit rate percentage to just drastically boost up. I can't get my goddamn words out, man. It's been a long day of account takeovers. You're looking to try and hit 100% crit rate on your damage dealers, right? And so crit rate gloves can be very, very good to take up to rank 16. As you progress in the game, you're hopefully going to be able to get 100% crit rate without needing crit rate on your gauntlets, and you're going to be able to get there with crit damage percentage on your gauntlets instead, and just massively, massively spike the damage of your damage dealers. And then, of course, on like support style champs and your revivers and your healers and stuff like that, you might just be looking for defense percentage or HP percentage on your gauntlets instead. Never ever be going for flat stats is just the general rule. And actually, that's basically everything I wanted to cover in terms of fundamentals here, which we've not hit on this account, sadly. For example, we've got Kitsis here, who's not a very good champion, but we've taken him up to level 50. A little bit questionably. And on his chest piece, he's got defense percentage, even though he's an attack-based champion. So that defense percentage, it's helping to keep him alive. It's not helping him really fulfill his role, and his attack stat is very, very low as a result here. Hopefully we're also going for crit damage on his amulet. No, we're stacking more defense, man. So, yeah, just really, really pay attention to what stats are going to be actually beneficial to the champion that you are building. Sometimes it tells you right here. Other times you've got to actually check into the skills themselves and see what they scale off of. I should say as well, another habit that you want to kind of avoid is taking lower level champions that you're not really using in many places just yet and like throwing gear on them, like this Executioner, for example. A level 30 champion, it's going to cost us silver to remove this gear off of this guy, you know. We've got like a random hound spawn here with some gear equipped on him as well. Not really what you want to be seeing. It's flat attack boots. Like, we should probably have never ranked these up, to be honest. Even with the double speed substat roll, they're probably still not that great. yeah, generally speaking, only be putting gear on champions that you are very actively using to help you progress on the account. If you can, it's a good rule of thumb until you really learn what you are doing. Okay, man, all of that said, let's begin with some rebuilds, shall we? So I'm going to start off, man, with good old Calvalax, who has a whole lot of defense percentage items and some flat attack boots. He is an attack style champ, so let's see if we can build up with him, man. More than anything, he needs accuracy. For some context, into Demon Lord Clan Boss, you need 70 accuracy for easy Clan Boss, 100 accuracy for normal, 150 accuracy for hard, and then 170 brutal, and so on. It gains about like 30 accuracy needed, all the way up to Ultra Nightmare, which is 230 accuracy. And so, given that we're hitting hard Clan Boss right now, we really need at least 150 accuracy on all of the champs we're going to be using into Demon Lord Clan Boss. And alright, man, this is the tweaked build that I've come up with the Calvalax. Don't have much silver on this account. We can't go ahead and equip this gear right now, but I can save it as a preset for Retro Boy to equip after he's done watching this video, and once he has the silver to actually, you know, switch his gear out and roll this gear up. Most of this gear can go up pretty safely to a rank 16, to be honest. Main changes to the build are going to be drastically increased attack. It's going to be a lot lower defense. Of course, the headgear and the shield being rolled up is going to help out then a little bit. The speed sucks because we need to rank 16 the boots. Of course, we need to fully level those up. But the crit rate is much better. Nearly 100% crit rate once these gloves are rolled up as well. And then the accuracy is going to, you know, at least be enough to be taking on hard Clan Boss and landing his poisons, which is great. And once we eventually get an accuracy banner, that's going to help us out quite a bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and key this build in for the Calvalax, and this should be enough to make him a very effective poison damage dealer into normal Clan Boss at the least. Or rather, hard Clan Boss, actually. So we go ahead, save this in. Calvalax new, and if you want to go ahead and access this preset, Mr. Retro Boy, all you do is go into your fitting room on Calvalax and then hit preset manager, and then you can go ahead and bam, try this gear on and, you know, roll it up whenever you want to and stuff like that. So that is Calvalax done. Okay, next up, Haikatoon. If we're going to be using Haikatoon, she really needs to be the fastest champion on the team by a lot. We've been trying to skill book her up, but have gotten very unlucky with the skill book rolls. Right now, she is glacially slow. We need to be aiming for like 190, 200 plus speed on the Haikatoon, really. So let's see what we can pull off. Oh my god, and I shouldn't laugh, man. I shouldn't laugh, but I can't help myself. Our best speed boots on the account are currently equipped on a food champion, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to be going ahead and pulling these off and ranking these up to 16 at some point on the Haikatoon. The substats don't even matter on these speed boots, frankly. They're just of the speed set, and so yeah, and they're rank 5, so we'll go ahead and roll these up, no problem. Okay. We're clutching at straws a little bit here with the Haikatoon, to be honest. We're pulling a lot of gear off a lot of champions that we're just frankly not going to be using. Graveshield Killer is basically food on this account. The only way that she works is with Frozen Banshee, so we can go ahead and steal her shield. The Kitsis is kind of useless. Taking Skeletor's chestplate away, just because it's at least got a little bit of speed roll action on it. Defense percent is also fine for the Haikatoon. Just good survivability stats, man. She's dropping some attack, she's dropping some health, she's gaining in defense, which is great. She's gaining a lot of speed. We can get a whole lot more if we also go ahead and fully rank up the boots as well. And accuracy is looking a bit better too. Ideally, we can also find an amulet that rolls into accuracy as a substat a couple of times. Amulet's, of course, the only accessory artifact that can roll into accuracy as a substat. And so, yeah, I'll go ahead and save this build as well for the Haikatoon. Now, next up, we've got Claude the Beast Feeder. He's got some attack main stat action, some HP percent at least on the chestplate, which is okay. Attack percentage main stat boots. Yeah, this guy needs to be fast as hell. He needs to be the fastest champion on our team. He needs to be spamming this increased speed buff as much as humanly possible and keeping it active across our entire team as much as he can, right? Also getting off the shield. Crucially important to just get this off as much as he can too, to keep us alive in Clan Boss for as long as possible. So let's see if we can speed this guy up too. Okay, man, so this is the Claude build in a work in progress. We managed to add like 75 speed to the son of a gun, and we still haven't rolled up the speed boots yet. So looking pretty good. We're also borrowing gear from Hoskaril because he's quite far away from being mega useful on the account. He's still sitting at rank 4. Also, the Sinesha, we're taking her weapon away because it's got a double speed roll and a bit of accuracy too. I just noticed, man, when checking out the accessories on Claude, he actually has a crit damage. Honestly, a very good crit damage amulet equipped currently that also ascended into crit damage. It has a double accuracy roll. Like, really good. Just not for Claude, man. In fact, Skrank and Claude, it feels like they have their amulets back to front, man. So Skrank has, okay, it's attack, fair enough, but at least it ascended into defense and it's got a double defense roll. I feel like this pinpoint Amulet would be way, way better for just increasing the Clod's defense a little bit, and the crit damage Amulet would be way, way better on the Skrank. So just switcherooing those two, I think would be totally fine. Of course, Clod's accuracy takes a bit of a hit as a result. He does need accuracy to be landing his A1 debuff, but we can fix that later on. Right now, it's way, way higher priority for us to just get him going as fast as humanly possible. So I'm going to go ahead and key this in as Claude New. And so now he's in a very, very good position to be boosting us up in Clan Boss by quite a bit. So while we're at it, we might also just want to take a quick peek at the Skrank's gear and just make a quick observation here. And that observation is simply, don't be feeling overly compelled to equip gear just because it's going to give you a 2-set bonus. It's really about the stats on the gear, particularly in the early game, right? Building out sets on champions where you've got like 4 pieces of whatever savage gear, then a couple of cruel pieces or something, and getting all of those with good stats is a luxury for more like mid-game players and stuff. When you're in the early months of your account, just look to maximize the good stats on your champs, man, and flat defense boots and flat defense chest pieces ain't it for good old Skrank. Skrank needs more accuracy. His accuracy is mega, mega low. Even though I'm not going to be including him in any of the dungeon teams that we touched on so far, I guess I'll go ahead and take a swing at rebuilding him out as well. He's also very, very slow indeed. Okay, let's see what we can do. Actually, screw it. Change of plans. Because Skrank is a little bit low priority to be using right away on this account, I feel, I'm going to go ahead and tackle a holstering build first, who has like no accuracy to speak of. So let's see what we can do here. All right, man. Not my best work, but we're working with scraps here a little bit, right? By the time we get down to the holstering, he's got a couple of resilience pieces equipped, not because resilience is a good set for holstering, obviously, but it does at least have some attack percentage and accuracy rolls here. The chest piece we're going to be taking off the Panthera. Attack percentage main, fine. Defense rolls, not great, but at least it's got a bit more accuracy here as well. Got some crit rate gauntlets that are rank 5 that are untouched. Again, just a lot of defensive stats, which is going to severely limit the holstering's damage as we're building him up, which is obviously not super, super ideal. That said, his accuracy is going to look a lot better when we eventually are able to ascend him up and get the pinpoint crit damage amulet on him here as well. That's going to be another 20 accuracy just from the pinpoint set bonuses, which fine, you know, a little bit here and there, right? He does have some 6-star speed boots on that we should definitely be taking up to rank 16 quickly as possible. Really no holds bad about that. So yeah, his attack, his damage and stuff isn't going to be that great, but at least he's going to be faster once the boots are upgraded, and at least he's going to have the accuracy to do his job on the team, which is just to control the Fire Knight's 10 meter, you know. We're going to go ahead and save this as holstering new. Poor Retro Boy, man. You've got a lot of silver to save up, man, to be upgrading all of these artifacts on this rebuild, but it's going to be worth it, man, I swear. And that brings us to the Life Taker, which, has a total of 5 accuracy. So if we're going to go ahead and take the Life Taker up to 50 on this account, which I would recommend that Retro Boy does, just for the sake of progression into Fire Knight, a little bit of 10 meter control from this champ. She's not a bad rare champ, honestly, for the Shadowkin. Everybody talks about Adachi for the Shadowkin faction. Oh man, you got to build Adachi, man. If there's one good rare champion in the Shadowkin, it's Adachi. Adachi sucks, okay? He's a terrible champion, right? I don't think he's good at all. There's going to be somebody in the comments now, well, I built Adachi at 6 stars and he solos Hydra. No, he doesn't, okay? Stop pretending. Stop fooling yourself. People get so butthurt when I call a champion bad. People take it as like a personal attack on themselves, you know, if you say that they wasted their resources into a champion, because that's effectively what you're saying, you know. Whatever, man. It's just a game, okay? Everybody relax, man. Adachi sucks, though. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I'm not going to touch this Life Taker's build, purely because, yeah, we just don't have the gear to do so. I'm going to go ahead and recommend to Retro Boy in DM, as soon as I'm done with this takeover, that he gets involved with this dragon tournament and blast the hell out of as many rewards in this as he can get. Christ, go all the way down to the epic tome if you can. Blast the hell out of this. You might as well, because it's going to drop all kinds of speed gear, all kinds of accuracy gear, and you want to be looking for speed rolls and accuracy rolls on that speed and accuracy gear, right? You're looking for as many accuracy and speed stats as you can get your hands on, because yeah, like 80% of champions in the game want to be fast and have high accuracy. That's all there is to it, man. And once we've got all that put together, eventually we can then look to build out the likes of that Life Taker. Another champ that, of course, we also want to be building out for Clan Boss as well, with good accuracy and good defensive stats, is going to be Taragi the Frog. He's an HP-based champion, and yeah, he needs accuracy in order to land his poison off of his passive, which when attacked has a chance of placing poison on the attacker for 2 turns, right? So again, Taragi, this is another champ that we must build out for Demon Lord Clan Boss. Another one that I did mention as well, Rector Drath. She brings a decreased attack debuff as well on her A1, same as Taragi's A1. So put these two guys together, you've got something approaching consistency with maintaining a decreased attack debuff on the Clan Boss. Going to be very, very crucially important to get done for progression. It's the most important debuff in the game to bring into Clan Boss in the early game. Minus poison, or maybe like tied with poisons, you know. And for Rector Drath, yes, she's a support-based champion, so what should we be building out on the Rector Drath? Well, if we check on her skills, she places continuous heal buffs. Lovely, that really doesn't tell us anything, actually, what am I even talking about? Oh yeah, on the A2, heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP. So we want our Rector Drath to have a decent amount of defense, maybe some like defense accessories and stuff, but for the most part, HP percentage gloves, HP percentage chest piece, really push the health percentage, speed boots, right? And again, she's going to need accuracy to land the decreased attack debuff. About 170 accuracy would be a good goal to aim for to progress then into Brutal Clan Boss, which should be no problem with the team that I covered a little bit earlier on. I almost want to go ahead on this account, honestly, and just fill up the reserve vault with champs I would consider food. I don't know if I should go ahead and do it. I don't want to disrupt Retro Boy's plans. He's got some food champions here that he's obviously leveling up as well to use to rank up his guys. So I don't think I should touch those. But if I could start from the top and just click on every food champion on this account, a lot of them are actually blocked off, so I won't touch those. But I mean, we've got Kitsus right here. Lockwayne is a fusion champion. He's not food, but yeah, he should be put in the vault to use in the future Mikage fusion. We've got this nerd right here. Get rid of him. Panthera's not good enough. Lamela's not good enough. Food. Fusion champ. Food. Honestly, it's pretty good that we got ourselves a Painkeeper. She can be used in future, but that's food. Rain Beast, I'd consider that guy food, honestly. Same with Brood as well, but I won't touch them. They've got some use, I suppose, in Faction Wars, so I'll leave those guys alone. Yaga is definitely food. I mean, we've got some obvious food champions here. Honestly, this guy sucks. Karam, is he called? I feel like he sucks. I feel like he's basically food. We'll give that guy a miss, but food. To be fair, I've been throwing a few faction guardians into the food bucket here as well, which isn't really fair to do, but we should just put them in the vault anyway, just keep them out of the way, you know, so we don't accidentally end up like building them or whatever. But yeah, food. Just a lot of not so good stuff here. I don't know, like 25, 26 champions or something above like the level 30s that we could consider food. I tell you what, man, Hyria, we could give this gal a second look. She could be used as a backup poisoner in the Demon Lord Clan Boss, but I think we're much better off building the Taragi as just an extra poisoner to help us out in Clan Boss and to partner up with Calvalax. Hyria can be pretty good if you build her out quite early to be a level 50 champ as a poisoner into Demon Lord, because she's quite easy to build, being a rare champion, and she does bring the potential at least for a triple poison on her A2, but hey, time has come and gone. It is the time of the frog. But okay, man, frankly, I feel like I've kind of hit the lid on what I can actually do on this account in order to help with progression. A lot of champions that we want to progress with Fire Knight just don't have the gear and stuff to do things yet. I've just ran out of gear that's actually decent on the account to put on champions. So again, farm up those dungeon tournaments, Mr. Retro Boy, and you should be able to do just fine into that pesky Fire Knight that you are stuck on if you build out this team that we have listed out right here. These guys should do a fine job, at least up to that stage 13 that you're having a little bit of trouble with, right? Once these guys have like skill books on the Life Taker are going to be needed. Huskarl doesn't necessarily need the skill books, but they could be good on him. Huskarl to level 50, Life Taker to 50. Holstring, might as well take him up to 60. Looks like he's going to be part of your Fire Knight team for a long time, so you might as well go ahead and get it done. Honestly, a lot of mistakes made on this account in the early game. It looks like, honestly, what I feel like a lot of early games players' accounts would look like when it's their like first shot at Raid and like they're new to the genre and they're just maxing stuff up willy-nilly, trying things out, experimenting, and they don't really have like the proper aim for what to build out to progress and stuff like that. So hopefully this takeover has helped out quite a bit to sort of clear those muddied waters. We've got a very good baseline of an account to build on here. Uh-oh. So we've been investing our medals very, very spread out in the Great Hall as well. I just thought I'd check on this before we leave. Definitely, Retro Boy, want to go ahead and take all of these accuracy nodes right here. Magic Affinity, Spirit Affinity, and Force Affinity up to rank 5 as fast as possible. And then once they're all rank 5, take one of them up to rank 10 as fast as possible. Trust me, you're going to thank me later when you get to those missions on your Arbiter missions rewards track, man. Very, very important that you heed that advice. Rank 5 on all of them, and then rank 10 with one of them. You can generally leave the Void one alone because, generally speaking, it's going to take you a while to get your hands on some Void champions anyway. And so, yeah, given that 85% of champions in Raid benefit from accuracy, you definitely want to focus the accuracy nodes first and ignore all of the others for now. But alright guys, that is going to be all for this merry little takeover, man, so I hope you all did enjoy. Hey, if you want to get involved in this series, the best way to do that is to sign up to Raid, create a new account using my beginner promo link, which you can find down below this video at the top of the description box, man. Doing so will kickstart your account with 4 free epic champions, including Ugo as a starter champion, and it's just the best possible link going, man, to kickstart your new account and get you a priority pass to get involved in this account takeover series. So make sure to go ahead and get it done, god damn it. You can also join the Discord server while you're down there, where you can actually submit your account for takeover in the account takeover submissions channel. So I'll see you guys there, man. All right, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'm gonna catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.